And who do we got?
Dwayne Gratz.
Oh, UConn.
Yes.
UConn Husky.
Nice to meet you.
Red Cosell. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I actually enjoyed watching you on tape. You and your friend, Mr. Wilson, on the other side. Yeah. You had some good players on your defense. C.O. Moore. I thought Trevardo Williams was a pretty intriguing player, too.
Yes.
But we'll talk a little bit about you, because you're the one sitting here.
All right.
All right? So, you talked to a lot of teams this last month or so?
I've talked to a few of them. I've been busy.
Okay.
That's good, though.
And what do they talk to you about? Because, when I watched you on film, I thought you were a good player. You didn't play in the games I watched anyway. Maybe you played more of in other games. You didn't play a ton of press, more off coverage. I thought you were very good at it. But I thought your skill set was such you could play press.
Okay.
What do you think?
No,
I know you're not going to say no, you can't.
Well,
but But I mean, in the NFL, what they really like to see is they love corners that can line up and play man to man.
Coaches around the league been telling me that I'm very physical, and that they know I can press and stuff like that. They haven't seen a lot on film,
right?
But they know that I have the ability to go up there and press and be comfortable in one-on-one situations. So that's one thing that they have been telling me.
And if you're have you been playing corner basically, through high school?
Yes,
too?
I have.
All right, so obviously you need physical skills, but a major priority playing corner is confidence.
Yes, it is.
Because it's a position you're going to get beat. Everybody gets beat playing corner. When you get to the NFL, you get beat a little more because the other players are better.
Yes.
So the key when you play corner in the NFL is amnesia.
Short-term memory.
Short-term. I'm sure you've heard a lot of coaches talk about that.
Yes.
So you feel that you're one of those guys. You don't harp on the negative plays. You try to learn from them, but you can't harp on them.
Yeah, you try to learn from them, but I've been starting since my sophomore year, so I had time to develop as a player and having short-term memory, and that's one thing I have learned. And I think my junior year and my senior year, I showed that to coaches, and they know that now.
And like I said, you played a lot of off coverage, so I thought you were very good planting and driving forward.
Yes.
Sort of reading what I always call the triangle, reading through from the wide receiver to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Do they call it that at UConn? How do they talk about that? Because obviously you're playing off. You got to be aware of the quarterback too, because you have to have some sense of when the ball's coming out.
Yes. Well, we did like a shuffle step for a 3-step read, and then after that, you go to your man. But every team terminology is different, and that's just one thing that we said. Just 3-step read. Make sure that the quarterback isn't throwing the ball on those 3 steps, and then after that, then get your man and go about it that way.
So, now, do you have any sense, based on you talking to your agent and just your overall sense of talking teams, where you think you might come off the board?
I try not to think about it too much. I have no control over that situation, so I just
good way to think about it. Yeah.
Just do what I do. Right now I'm just just keep trying to get better as a person, as a player. So that's one thing I can control. And I just want teams to know that they're going to get a good player and someone who's going to be coachable and go in there and practice hard every day.
Now, where are you from originally?
From Piscataway, New Jersey.
Oh, okay. No, were you recruited by Rutgers?
Late in my senior year. Yeah, got my first scholarship from UConn, and I felt comfortable with that.
Now, who was the head coach at that point? Was it Randy Edsel?
It was Randy Edsel. Okay,
and he's been gone 1 year or 2 years?
He's been gone for 2 years.
Okay, and it's Paul Pasqualoni, right?
Yeah, Paul.
And he's a defensive guy.
He is.
I mean, that's his side of the ball. So I'm sure you've probably been able to learn. Not that Randy Edsel, and his staff didn't teach you, but I mean, when you have a head coach who I think is defensive side of the ball, it's probably a little more focused, and it probably was really helpful to you.
It was more focused on the defense, but he dealt more with the defensive linemen, and he let the defense coordinator go ahead and work with the cornerbacks, and he didn't get in between that. So.
Well, good. Well, hey, it was a real pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Hope it works out. Who knows? Maybe you'll hear your name Friday night. Round 2 and 3.
I hope so.
I hope you do. All right.
Appreciate
Good seeing you, Dwayne. All righty. Dwayne Gratz, corner from the University of Connecticut, a team that will have a number of players drafted in this draft, including the other corner there, Bleedy Ray Wilson. They've got a linebacker, C.O. Moore. They've got Trevardo Williams, who's a pass rusher. For June, Taylor, what do you guys think?
I wouldn't be mad at him coming to my team. No. The Giants do a good mix of zone, throwing some man in there, so I think he'd be a good fit. and he's from the area. He's a fellow New Jerseyan. So
that's right.
So I wouldn't be mad at that.
Same thing. Ravens need some corner depth, so seeing Dwayne come in would absolutely be fine with me.
Good.
Eagles need corner depth.
We got 2 more guys here.
Seems like everybody needs corner depth.
This just shows me how old I am because I'm sitting next to Emory Blake,
yes, sir,
from Auburn, whose dad I know well from not only his years in East Carolina, but playing quarterback in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
So
he played for a long time.
That's right. That shows you how old I am. And then we got the best safety in the draft, Kenny Vaccaro from the University of Texas. And Emory, we'll start with you. You know, you've had a chance. You were at Auburn. You're a senior, right? So
yes,
you're there
sir.
for your
4
entire.
years.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you know, had a chance to play in the SEC against a lot of good players.
Yes,
You've
sir.
made some big plays against good players. But yet, I'm sure you know that you're not necessarily going to be a high pick.
Yes, sir.
But you have to, I would imagine, feel that given who you played against,
yes, sir,
that you can play in the NFL.
Definitely. I'm very confident in my ability and my knowledge of the game. So, you know, I'm just ready to get to the next level and show what I can do.
Now, what if teams talk to you about? I mean, you know, because obviously you're a lighter receiver. You know,
yes,
you're
sir.
not a big kid.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
in terms of weight. So, how do they talk about how you'd be utilized and deployed in the NFL?
They know I can get open and make plays, you know, and that's the big thing I've heard from scouts. So they know I'm not the fastest guy, I'm not the biggest guy, but they know I can make plays when I need to make them. So I'm just going to get to training camp and, you know, and just do my best and show them what I can do when I get there.
Kenny, let's talk to you. I'm sure you're pretty excited about tomorrow night. I don't think there'll be any doubt that by pick 20 you'll be gone in this draft. I think people would not be real smart if that was the case. I got to tell you, the game that when I watched was the game that struck me the most. West Virginia. And I'll tell you why. Because you lined up in the slot on Tavon Austin. You were not overmatched. And I was actually the first game I watched back like in January on film. You know, it's the first college game I watched because with NFL Films I do the NFL and watch pro tape. And I'm watching that game, and I'd heard your name. You know, I knew who you were to some degree. And I'm looking at this, and I knew who Tavon Austin was. And I'm thinking, wait a second. And then I looked up your size, and I'm like, he's 6 feet, 215 pounds? He's playing over the slot, and he's really not overmatched here? You know, so, and then I watched a lot more games, but that was the game that really stood out to me. So I know that's not a question, but you can jump in any time here.
I'm sorry about that. I mean, Tavon, I think, is like one of the most dynamic receivers in the country. And basically going into that game, our plan was, all right, Kenny, my coach was like, if you want to be a real safety, you want to show your versatility, you guard Tavon and we'll double team Stedman Baylor.
Right.
So that was the game plan. I kind of just shadowed him. I mean, I had help over the top. You got to have help with that guy.
Yeah,
He's so elite.
But I mean, he wasn't running by you, or he wasn't leaving you in the dust on you know, horizontal, you know, option type routes.
No, I mean, I think that's one of the best things I can bring to an organization is just being able to do that and bringing that versatility to a team.
Well, you know, to me, I think you're a multidimensional safety who really has no physical limitations, because not only did you play over the slot a lot, but you obviously played deep as a single high safety. You played deep in a true deep shell. You know, I would imagine that a lot of teams have talked to you, and like I said, I would think you're not getting past. I mean, I can't imagine if you're there at 18 that the Dallas Cowboys don't take it, but you know, I assume you've talked to them.
I mean, my agent says, I mean, don't worry about it, don't stress it, because at the end of the day, I know that safety is not a core position. I mean, it's not a tackle, it's not like a.
Well, let me tell you something. It's becoming more of a core position because you know what? There's a lot of tight ends who line up outside. You know, big dudes, right?
Yes, sir.
These are big dudes who can move.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you play in the New Orleans Saints. Who's covering Jimmy Graham?
Exactly.
You know, who's covering Hernandez? With the, you know, to me, for whatever it's worth, I think the position should increase in value.
Oh yeah.
Because these multidimensional safeties who can line up over the slot, can line up in the box, can line up deep, to me, they're more important players than ever in this changing NFL.
I mean, definitely. I mean, guys are becoming freaks in tight ends. I mean, you can't. I mean, you want to put a corner on them, but physically, can they match up with guys? Because then they'll just body them off.
That's right.
I think safety should. I mean, the value definitely going up.
You know, so it'll be real interesting. But you know, and I hope for your sake that you know, sometimes what they say about if you get to the 7th round, sometimes people say it's better not to get drafted then.
Yeah,
you know why?
sometimes it is
because then you can, then your agent can sort of help you work through the best situation.
Yes, sir.
And you can go to a spot where they have somewhat of a need.
Yes, sir.
And you can step in and have a realistic shot.
Well, wherever I go, like I said, I just want to get improved what I can do. So whether that's through 6th, 7th round or through free agency, I'm just excited for the opportunity.
Right. And Kenny, you got to be excited about tomorrow night. You going to be in the green room? Are you going to be there?
Yeah, I'll have my whole family there. I mean, I'm really anxious. I've been working for this.
And you're a Texas kid originally, right?
Yeah, born and raised.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's got to be really exciting for you. You know, I mean, you go to a school like Texas, I'm sure you're a big recruit, and you got to, I'm sure this is something you've been working for, and, you know, your whole, everybody, no matter where you get, I'm sure you're thinking the same thing.
Oh, yes, sir,
you've been playing, you know, high school, you know. So, his dad actually lives in Austin.
Oh, I know.
You know that?
I mean,
you guys know each other well?
Yeah, we know each other.
I figured.
Yes,
All right. Well, hey, good luck.
Yes, sir.
I hope it works out. And
Yes,
Kenny, I look forward to seeing you in the NFL.
Appreciate it.
All right. That is Emory Blake from Auburn, and it's Kenny Vaccaro, who, again, in my view, is the best safety prospect in this draft. And I would expect that Kenny will hear his name called tomorrow night before 11 o'clock. So